Hello again, and welcome to this week's edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. It's hard to believe the holidays are pretty much upon us, and the end of the year is just a few weeks away. And I don't know about you, but I'm certainly looking forward to putting 2020 behind us and looking forward to some better circumstances in the upcoming year. I think that despite all of the challenges that we've gone through over the past year and continue to go through now, and probably for a few weeks yet, I think that next year holds some great promise. And in terms of travel, while the beginning part of the year is still a bit of a question mark in terms of our ability to get away and see the world, I think I'm more optimistic that by the second half of the year, we'll be back to traveling and can fulfill some of those lifelong dreams of the places that we want to go. And on that note, it's time for our annual trip inspiration survey. So for those of you, if you were a member with us last year, you'll remember and it was about this time last year when we issued this survey. The idea being that because we're a member-driven organization, because we take the ideas of the trips that we put together from you, from our members mostly, we want to check in every year and make sure that the kind of things that I have in my mind and that my team has in our minds is actually the type of trips that you want to go on. And so this year, it's particularly important for this year because, as you can well imagine, it's been a very difficult year for us. We basically ceased all travel after March and are probably not going to have any more trips until next March. So we have a whole year where we've effectively been trying to keep our operation going and keep our team going, even though we've had to downsize quite a bit. But it has been for us and for everybody in the travel industry, as you are no doubt aware, it's been a big challenge. And so as we look to move forward and start our planning for the end of next year and 2022 and even beyond, it's even more important that the tremendous amount of effort we put in coordinating our trips is really focused on those places that people actually want to go. We can ill afford to waste any of our time. Not that any of it is a waste, because let's face it, I do this because I love planning trips and travel. It's what I've always loved to do. And at the same time, there's only so much one person can do. And so I've got a fair bit on my plate. So your input is of great importance to me. The Trip Inspiration Survey, you'll find a link to it in the blog below. And how it works this year is we've divided it into 6 different categories. So in total, there's about 30 different programs that we're proposing, but it's pretty quick. I think you can get through the whole thing in less than 10 minutes. And essentially, the categories that we have are our experiences category of trips. Those are sort of more traditional sightseeing trips, of course, at the Wheel and Anchor pace. And that includes some of our new 5x5 programs that we introduced earlier this year, where we spend 5 nights in 5 different destinations, or up to 5 different destinations that are linked together. So you'll find a couple of those itineraries in our inspiration survey. We then have the category of rail journeys. That's a new one for us. We found a lot of interest in our Incredible Rail Journeys webinar series that we've just been doing. And so we've put a couple of different of the programs that we have been talking about into our survey because we think that rail travel might just be the thing for the next few years, the new trend, if you will. We also have our small ship cruising category. We've got a couple of programs in there that are really neat. We have, as usual, our weekends program. So we're going to be offering those again. We've got Azores and Havana in there as well. And we also have our active category, which is also new this year. A lot of members said to us, they're wondering if we can do some more active programs, a little bit of hiking or biking. So we've got some neat ideas in there. Would love to get your feedback if that's something you'd like to do. And finally, last but not least, we have our liveaways category. This is our newest program that is our extended stay during the colder months of the year. And so we're going to be checking in on your interest in participating on those. And in fact, next week, I'm going to be over in Koh Samui, which is one of the destinations we proposed, looking at some of the different accommodations and all the amazing things that there are to do. So that's our trip inspiration survey. As I say, please take 10 minutes to do it. It means a lot to me and a lot to my team to understand where it is that you want to go. Of course, if you have questions about it at all, there is the information that's presented is fairly limited. It's just sort of the idea of where we would go and how long the duration would be and approximately what time of year. And based on all of that, we will fill in the blanks in the coming months and start to release our programs for the end of next year and beyond. So that's all for this week. You might want to stick in your calendar the 4th edition of our Incredible Rail Journeys, which will cover the Orient Express and the Palace on Wheels in India. That's happening just after the holiday break on January the 7th at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you enjoyed our last webinars, or if you haven't had a chance to participate in that series, please do join us on January the 7th. So I look forward to catching up with you next week. I'm off on a little trip around southern Thailand because, I've got a bit of a travel bug, as you can well imagine. So I'm going to take some time to visit some other parts of southern Thailand, and I'll be reporting back to you from there next week. In the meantime, as always, stay healthy, stay safe, and look forward to catching up with you again soon.